After that, Pac was joking the whole time, you know? He's like, Pac was joking because Pac used to call Suge Sweaty Head. So he said Pac was joking the whole time on the way to the hospital. And then he said Pac took a deep breath, was like, I don't think I'm going to make it this time.
Vegas incident. Give me a play-by-play of everything that took place in Vegas.
So Vegas, I wasn't there. So Pac said, okay, from the Outlawz that came with me to New York, y'all not going to come with me to Vegas. So myself, I believe Young Noble, because he was in New York, we stayed. And Castro, he didn't go to New York. He went with him. Edie and Kadafi also went with him. I just remember leaving Pac crib and Young Noble telling me when I called the crib, he was like, Pac called looking for you. Later on, I found out from, Castro, Kadafi, and Edie that when Pac had a fight with Orlando Anderson, the first person he called, the first person he told him to call was me, which is strange. They said after Pac fought him, he got in the elevator, was like, call Moo, tell him I just knocked this dude out. And when he called the house, I wasn't there. You know what I mean? So Noah was like, Pac called looking for you. He had a fight with somebody. I just took it like, that's it. He had a fight with somebody. And then he dropped me back off at the house. When I got to the crib, Noble, came down the hill, was like, yo, we just got a phone call. Pac got shot. And I just remember like, whoa, what? But something inside of me, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid that, it was something that detrimental. I thought he got shot before 4 or 5 times. He gonna be good. So eventually we got in the car with Yasmin, which is Kadafi's mother. We filled the car, her trunk up with guns, and we drove to Vegas, which was 3 hours. From Los Angeles, 3.5 hours. So when we got to LA, we went to the hotel. We sat with his moms. We didn't go to the hospital yet, We sat up with the Outlawz. Everybody was out of it, especially Kadafi. And we was like, what happened? And they started explaining what happened. Pac got into a fight with a dude. We was going our way to 662 Suge Club, and a car just pulled up. And Kadafi's like, all I remember seeing a black arm, an arm of a dark colored person come out the window and just start letting off. Kadafi was like he knew what it was. As soon as he seen the arm come out the window, he knew what it was. And unfortunately, he couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And I guess the car pulled off. Some people say buntering them. They followed the car, buntering them, shot back at the car, but the car got away. So, Pac had some surgeries. We went to the hotel after that. We decided, for some reason, there was no security. For some reason, I don't know why they put Tupac on the first floor of the hospital. His window literally was in the back of the hospital on the first floor, meaning that if word get out that Pac is there, anybody can do something. Because people was calling the hospital like, we coming back to finish him off. So we was getting death threats. Pac was getting death threats. So what we did was like, shout out to Gobi. We met with Gobi. Gobi had a van, I remember. And all of the Outlawz, we like, look, there's not enough security here for Pac. We just got to step it up. So we parked the van right behind his window, and we had shifts. 3, 4 Outlawz will be there from like 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. We won't sleep. We just watching everybody that walk by, because you had so many cars coming, so many fans walking around, and we watching every movement. That shift, the homies will go to the hotel. The next shift will come. And we remember we just did this. And we were saying to ourselves, man, wait till Pac, come out of the hospital. He's going to be proud of us at home. But unfortunately, his situation turned to the worst. And his mother felt that the proper thing for her is to let him go. And that feeling, bro, you know what I mean? That was one of the worst things, one of the worst news that I ever heard, that he's no longer with us.
How bad was Tupac's condition when he was in the hospital?
When I seen him, because I was able to go into the room, it was bad. But, before that, his mother, his sister kept saying, he's good. They very strong, especially his mother. She's a strong person, optimistic, never said anything negative. Even when her son was in the hospital dying, fighting for his life. Everybody she seen, she hugged, she smiled. So when I got there and I said, "How was Pac?" She was like, "He's okay, baby. He's gonna be fine." When I went into the room, he was unconscious and he had all these tubes down his throat. I couldn't take it. I ran out the room. Like I rushed out the room like in tears, you know?
So what made her pull the plug?
There was so many, they kept doing surgeries, operating on Pac. She would come out again and they just removed his lung. They removed his fingers. And it was difficult. She just felt like the best thing for her to do was to pull it. And after that, she was like, "I know my son. My son is very prideful." She like Pac having one lung, for example. You know what I mean? Never have his voice again. Pac loved music. I think they had to remove a finger, something. She like, "I know my son. His pride, he probably wouldn't be able to live like that." She just felt like he fought enough, and she decided to, let him go. No one questioned her and said, "Why did you do it?" and stuff like that. People just supported her decision.
Who were some of the people that came to visit Tupac while he was in the hospital?
I think Jesse Jackson came through. MC Hammer was up there a lot, with Eric B. So a lot of people was coming up there, a lot of celebrities, but Outlawz, we wasn't going up to none of them and speaking to none of them. Prior to that, before we left, after Pac died, we all decided to go back to LA. And Suge came, he said, "I need to meet with y'all. Meet me at the top level of this hotel or whatever." And we went upstairs. And I remember Suge lifting up his shirt. He showed us he had a bullet wound here, And he was like, I guess Suge felt comfortable telling the Outlawz his side of the story. He wanted to do it away from everyone. He was like, the people rolled up on us and started letting off. He said Pac jumped up and tried to go in the back seat. And that's when Pac took most of the bullets, And he got up and and Suge said, "I grabbed him." It was like, "Get down." And that's when the bullet skinned him in the head. One hit him in his chest. And then he said, after that, Pac was joking the whole time, He's like, Pac was joking because Pac used to call Suge Sweaty Head. So he said Pac was joking the whole time on the way to the hospital. And then he said Pac took a deep breath, was like, "I don't think I'm going to make it this time." That's when he knew it was serious.
What was Kadafi's reaction to Tupac's death? How did Kadafi handle Tupac's death?
Kadafi handled it, man. It destroyed him. You know what I mean? He was never the same. After Pac death, and I was real close with Kadafi. Intimate conversations with Kadafi. Never was the same, bro. He didn't heal. You know what I mean? Kadafi and Pac, you got to realize that they was together since, toddlers. They was like real close. And Kadafi seen everything unfold in front of his eyes. Like he was the one, he seen the face. Because Kadafi said the dude rolled up looking as if they was looking to make sure what car Pac was in. So when they first rolled up, they looked in the car when Kadafi and him was in. And Kadafi said, "He looked right in my face." Then when he went to the next car, what happened? So Kadafi, not only did he lose someone, him and Pac was very close, bro. He never recovered.